For more than 2 years, reporter Sandra Sanchez has been following the story of a family from Honduras as they seek asylum in the United States. The family was allowed into the country last year and ordered to appear before an immigration judge in Houston. Frequently, families ordered to appear don't show up for those hearings. An investigation by our team at borderreport.com confirms that the Biden administration is dismissing cases for many of those migrants. Those families remain in the country, but their immigration status is uncertain. That's the case for the family we've been following. Sandra Sanchez takes a closer look at their story.
Meet Carolina Silva Carranza. She and her common-law husband Jose Escobar and daughter Emily were arrested in the summer of 2019 after illegally entering the United States. They were among the first sent back to Mexico from South Texas under the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy. We found the family at a refugee camp in Matamoros, Mexico, just days after they had arrived. They lived under a tattered tent for nearly 5 months, until a judge legally allowed them to enter the United States while their asylum case was pending. This was because Carolina was pregnant. In exchange for passage, they agreed to attend all future immigration hearings. But they didn't. They had their first immigration master court hearing in downtown Houston at the Leland Federal Courthouse, and an immigration judge terminated their case. Legal experts tell me that means they can remain here for the time being, but it confers no status or other benefits on them.
A termination would be generally entered by the court if the government hasn't shown that the person is deportable. So it's, analogous in that sense to kind of a dismissal.
Susan Long is co-founder of Syracuse University's TRACK, which tracks immigration cases. She said since President Joe Biden took office, there has been a 65% increase in terminations of immigration court cases. There were over 37,500 immigration cases terminated in fiscal year 2021, TRACK reports. That's up from 22,600 in fiscal 2020, the last year of Donald Trump's presidency.
Last year is the highest number of terminations that we have seen back to fiscal 1998, according to the court records.
Terminating a case doesn't mean the migrant can stay in the United States indefinitely. The government can refile charges against a non-citizen at any time and issue deportation orders for any number of reasons.
The question comes, well, do they have a basis for getting some sort of legal status here so that they could remain?
Carolina and her family left Honduras and headed north because she was an outspoken political activist against former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez. He is now facing extradition to the United States on drug trafficking charges. I met up with Carolina at her apartment as she was on her way to work. We are not disclosing where she lives. She says she was afraid if they went to court, they would be sent back to Honduras. And she wants to stay in the United States with her 5-year-old daughter, Emily, and U.S.-born daughter, Isabella, who is now 1.
I was scared. The truth is, I didn't go because I was afraid to leave my daughters here alone.
When she calls the Justice Department's hotline, a recording says there is no information on a future court date for them. Carolina said although she doesn't have a legal work permit, she is working 11 hours a day with only one 30-minute break. She doesn't see her daughters much, and she worries about their future, but she says she believes God is in control.
God is the only one who knows what will happen to us at this moment. If God wants us to stay, we will be here. Otherwise, we will be gone.
In Houston, Texas, for BorderReport.com, I'm Sandra Sanchez.
When an asylum seeker is allowed into the country, they are issued a notice to appear. That paperwork says they must show up for all court hearings. They also are not allowed to work without government permission. You can read more on this story at BorderReport.com. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle, and we'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.